Or maybe it's about the devil. Boy, they just don't make them like this anymore. Unhinged and completely insane with supreme confidence. Now it is time. Let our game begin. Oh boy. 2009, 2010, Junpei. Welcome to me trying to play 9 hours, 9 person, 9 doors on the Retro Zone. Something that is not a Nintendo DS. I'm going to pretend that it is. And I'm going to see how it works if I don't have direct access to the touchscreen, which I currently don't. So, hang in there. This game is a trip. Perfect disclaimer for a game that's about to be the most fictitious thing that's even possible. They set up us the bomb. A loud noise startled Junpei awake, and his eyes snapped open. As they adjusted to the light, he realized that he didn't recognize his surroundings. Ow! I'm Junpei. So I should note, I have buttons that can switch the screens. I have a button that can zoom in on one of them, which I'm going to try to do as much as possible because I prefer it. But it will be flipping around, and you will hopefully be intuiting it along with me of how to do this. So, we're going to learn together. I know we can do it. With a crack, Junpei's head connected with something metal. He rolled over and threw out his hand to steady himself, but he found himself groping at empty air. His balance lost, and his still fuzzy mind struggling to understand what was going on, Junpei tumbled down to the cold gray floor. Ouch, God damn it. I'm not going to be reading everything out loud. Let's just get that out of the way right away. It was a bed. So you woke up in bunk beds. A 3-level bunk bed, in fact. Oh wait, should I be reading this? So, fallen out of bed. He has a bump on his head. He wondered if that bump was the reason he felt his vision wavering a bit, but that seemed unlikely. At first, he thought the tremor that ran through his legs was just another effect of his rude awakening, but as he looked around, he realized it was real. The whole room was shaking. Was it an earthquake, he wondered. It didn't seem likely. It was shaking far too quickly for an earthquake. Then again, Junpei had no idea what it was, if not an earthquake. He tried to tell himself it was important. Turn off the AC and comfort my dog. Junpei rubbed his growing bump on his head and gingerly climbed to his feet. His balance regained, he finally took his first good look around the room. and muttered to himself, "Where am I?" His pain momentarily forgotten in the face of the confusion of his circumstances, Junpei looked around the room once again. Minutes passed while Junpei struggled to get his bearings, and Johnny set a timer for how long this first one should last, because this is, after all, a bit of a test. Then as suddenly as they had begun, the tremors ceased. A cold silence fell over the room. From somewhere far away, Junpei could hear the sound of metal squeaking. He felt his stomach tighten. There were 1,000 things the sound could have been, but none of the things he could think of were good. In an attempt to distract himself, Junpei looked around the room once more. There was a stove that looked more antique than functional. A 3-level bunk bed had mattresses that were so thin they were little more than blankets. I'm afraid. I think you can hear my dog. He's having an episode. He's okay though. He's well medicated. We take very good care of him. On the other side of the room was an identical bed, and set in the wall between the beds was a slightly dirty iron door. The first thing Junpei noticed about the door was the number roughly emblazoned across it. On the surface of the door, in red paint, someone had written 5. 5? What's this 5 mean? Suspicious and still utterly confused, Junpei approached the door slowly. Standing at last in front of the door, Junpei grabbed a hold of the L-shaped handle. A push yielded no movement, and a pull the same result. A few more tries cemented the truth in Junpei's mind. It wouldn't open. It didn't matter how much he pushed and shoved. The handle wouldn't budge. Next to the door was an odd-looking device that reminded Junpei of a card reader. It didn't take a genius to figure out that the odd-looking device was keeping the door shut. Junpei knocked hard on the door. "Hey! Hello? Is anyone there? Open the door!" There was no response. Junpei threw his left fist into the door and stopped. What the hell is this? He wasn't really sure what else to say. On his left wrist was a bracelet of a sort he'd never seen before. In the center was a large LCD display. It looked like nothing else so much as a watch, but it clearly wasn't that. After all, it showed only a single number. 5. That's the same as the door. True, the numbers were the same, but he had no idea what that might mean. All he knew was that it was strange and new, and he wanted it off. Junpei flipped his hand over as if to remove a watch, but the other side of the bracelet was solid. No buckle, no clasp, nothing. He sighed and flipped the thing back over. There were a number of rivets around the rim of the face. Perhaps he pushed them, but nothing happened. On a watch, they might be dials for adjusting the date or time, but on this bracelet, they did nothing. Junpei was at a loss. What was he going to do? Growing more desperate, he began to tug at it. However, damn! It's no good. Damn thing won't come off. A steel ring ran from the face around Junpei's wrist and back into the face. He wouldn't be pulling the bracelet off any time in the near future. What the hell is the deal with this thing? Frustration and desperation were beginning to mix as the reality of the situation began to dawn fully on Junpei. So much was happening and none of it made sense. Junpei felt as though he were about to explode. Where am I? And why the hell am I here? Why? Why? What the hell happened to me? Oh, it was at that moment he noticed the window. The window was round, rimmed in riveted brass, like a window from an early 20th century ship. If I was recording this, and I am, but if I was recording it the way I usually do, I would have done a different take. Rimmed and riveted brass with an R, like a window from an early 20th century ship. What? Wait. Am I in a ship? Junpei walked slowly toward the window. He could see nothing beyond it but thick, impenetrable darkness. Junpei squinted, trying to see something, anything. It was at that moment. What the? You gotta be kidding me! What the hell is going on here? A crack split the glass of the window, and for a moment Junpei stared at it. Then the window burst, and water began to pour into the room. What the hell? God damn it! Junpei yelled and spun around. His feet slipping on the water already coming through the window, he ran for the door. Hey! Anyone? Is anyone there? Come on, if you're there, say something. There was no reply. As Junpei screamed and pounded on the door, the water began to rise. It was now ankle deep on the floor and rising quickly toward his knees. Things were not looking good for Junpei. Not good at all. He needed to find a way out, and quickly. Junpei ran a hand across his forehead, brushing the sweat out of his eyes, and looked around the room. And so did I. The player. Okay. Operations during an escape. During an escape, you can move to different parts of the room by touching. Hopefully, the bottom screen will figure it out. Since many areas require very exact selection, we recommend you use the stylus. Well, that's gonna be a problem, but I will figure it out. Searching during an escape. During an escape, you can touch the background to search anywhere in the room. Areas you can investigate will be highlighted yellow the moment you touch them. Depending on the nature of the location you touch, you might find an item or a hint. Begin searching by touching places on the bottom screen. How to move. Touch the triangle icon on the bottom screen. Doing so will change the viewing angle of the room and move you to different locations. You can do the same thing by pressing left, right, and down on the control pad. We are going to try this as long as we can. I do have a Vita version of this game that we might try if this is impossible. If you want to know where you are, touch X and the camera icon on the bottom screen. This will show you where you are and what direction you're facing. Pressing start will allow you to save. If you want to quit, we recommend pressing start. Well, I may be pressing start, because I might want to quit. The purpose of each escape is to get out of the room. Thanks, Dad. How you do that depends on the room. Search all throughout the room to discover what you'll need to do to get out. Search for hints and items that may help you find a way out. Okay. Can I use the touchscreen in any capacity while it's plugged in? Okay, I'm doing a lot of spinning. I can't seem to do much touching. Item and file. Yeah, this isn't... Alright, this isn't gonna work. We're gonna take a break.